Icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, let's go! Monday show, February 17th, 2025. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Coming up on 80,000 subscribers on this platform. If you're watching on X, we say good afternoon to you. No Tom Maz away today. Braylon Edwards, there is you and I, though. Good afternoon to you.
Always a pleasure to be in the show with you, and I appreciate the card earlier. Ladies and gentlemen, my birthday is this coming Friday.
Happy
Ryan will not
birthday,
be here, so he got me a card and got me a gift. Just want to tell you I love you, brother, and I appreciate it. We have a very, very, very special friendship, and I'm just glad to call you brother as well as friend.
Absolutely. That's why I got you a brother card for,
I appreciate it.
because you are, so many people see what's on air. A lot of people don't see the relationship off camera, and it's truly special to be a part of it. And I'm grateful for your friendship and love you like your brother.
Our friendship might have to come to an end because of DEI regulations.
That's hiring. That's just for hiring. You're already here.
No, actually, you're in, Braylon. Ricky's out. I have reached my quota on Black Friends.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Ricky. I'm sorry.
Ricky, you're out. I've reached my quota.
I got here first.
How you doing? Ricky Burns with us. Pete Spivak with us as well. Ricky, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. Had a good weekend. Caught the All-Star game. Got recertified in CPR, so we're all good.
Okay.
No
respect.
kidding.
Yeah.
Our lives.
Tell me more about that,
Yeah.
because it's funny that you mentioned that.
Uh-oh.
Because earlier today I was at Fox 2,
Okay.
and I was in the break room, and in the break room we have all of this life-saving equipment.
Yeah.
The
AED.
heart AED, the
Yeah.
heart machine, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I had something in the microwave, and I was thinking to myself, I was looking at it. If I was put in this situation, would I even know how to use any of these machines? And it is truly amazing when you find somebody that, has gone through this training. You're prepared. Preparedness is the key.
It's better to do anything than do nothing. It's one of the first things they teach you. But it started 5 years ago. We had our first daughter. She had like a little choking fit. And
Oh, my
and it was
gosh.
like, first time parents, we both kind of sitting there, didn't really know what to do. Luckily, she was good. Everything was fine. But then in that time, we were just like, hey, I don't like this. So we got certified then. That was 5 years ago. It lapsed 2 years. It goes for 2 years. So we got it redone the other day.
Dude, if I can ask you, what happened?
What do you mean?
Like when your daughter had that, what'd you do?
I just started patting her on the back because that's what it was the first instinct.
Yeah.
She got it up. It was just like, I think it was just drink or
But
water or something
still,
like that.
I
But
mean,
it was just so
you're-
scary. Yeah, it was like I didn't like not knowing what to do. So I'm the type that I want to figure out what I can do. So
Absolutely.
I'm CPR
God
certified
bless you.
again.
That is incredible. Pete Spivak, do you have any certifications that we need to know about?
I'm bald. That's about all I can certify to you.
Certified
I have your
baldy.
video, by the way, whenever you're ready.
Good. I want to talk about all of this stuff, but first and foremost, today is President's Day. Okay, President's
it
Day. And a lot of people are off from school, and a lot of people are off from work today.
Not us.
Not us today. Nope, not us today. But I thought I would start the show today with a little true or false President's Day trivia today.
I'm
How
ready.
do you feel
Okay.
about that?
I'm
Can I
ready.
get a little music?
I'm ready
here?
with the president.
Okay.
I wish I was more prepared. I would have had something patriotic.
All right, ready, Braylon Edwards?
I'm ready. I'm ready to rock and
and
roll.
anybody can jump in here. Can jump in here. President's Day was originally established to honor only George Washington. True or false?
False.
False.
True.
Yeah,
It is
that's
true.
true.
It was initially called Washington's birthday. Question number 2. President's Day officially observed on the third Monday in February. True or false?
Traditionally, no.
That's
Oh, false then.
true.
It is true. This was set by the Uniform Monday Holiday Act of 1971. True or false? Abraham Lincoln's birthday also celebrated on President's Day.
False.
False.
It is false. While many celebrate Lincoln around this time, President's Day specifically honors
George
Washington.
Washington,
Lincoln's birthday is not a federal holiday. Okay, true or false? George Washington was the first president to appear on U.S. currency.
True.
True.
False.
False. While Washington did appear on currency, Benjamin Franklin was actually the first non-president on U.S. paper money. The fifth and final question. You ready?
Yeah.
The term President's Day is legally recognized by the U.S. government.
True? False.
False.
Yeah,
the holiday
what?
still officially called Washington's birthday by the federal government. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our 5-question.
Four out of five.
Not bad. President's Day trivia, true or false?
Between that and Elon Musk, I now know I know nothing about the government. Absolutely nothing.
No, there you go. But
Civics class.
Okay, here's a bonus question.
Okay.
Here's a bonus question. President's Day weekend is the second biggest weekend for sales on the calendar in America.
For sales?
Sales.
Oh. Okay.
True? Is that just this fact?
It is true.
Oh.
Black Friday and Black Friday weekend, and then President's Day for sales.
Wow.
The amount of sales, the commercialization of
figured it was true. I just
President's
wondered why.
Day has been something that has gone wild.
Why is
so
that?
appliances, anything, it's furniture, crazy sales.
Is this time of year finally like when people kind of come back from Christmas and the beginning of the year and things are kind of aimed at that? Is that why
Maybe they've lightened up the credit card a little bit to the point where they
100%.
got a little bit more room on it.
right back into debt till May?
It's probably it's the first holiday in tax season.
Exactly. Guys, if you are watching on YouTube today, you see Kelvin Shepard on our thumbnail today, because one of the questions that I was going to ask Braylon Edwards and you, the audience, is if the Detroit Lions do not make another move this offseason, will they have enough, do you believe, to get it done next year? And by get it done, I mean make it to and win the Super Bowl. And then this video came out about 15 minutes ago, if you're watching live. Aiden Hutchinson posted this video of him running at the Lions practice facility.
Yes.
And just take a look at
Yes.
it. Just take a look at it. Watch it a couple of times, because it to me, I think it's progress, obviously, right?
Yeah.
When you see Aiden Hutchinson running, this is progress.
Yes.
It doesn't look all that great.
No.
Right.
He's not like
we
running like
we know he was capping last week when he said he'd been ready for the Super Bowl.
No.
Braylon, you
He was-
stole my
he was
thunder.
capping.
You stole my thunder.
I'm sorry.
No, and I think that's what this video proves.
Yeah.
For any Lions fan that held out any sort of hope whatsoever that Aiden Hutchinson would have been ready for a Super Bowl if the Lions were in it, I think this video proves that he would have never been playing in that game.
Yeah, and I didn't want to poo-poo optimism. Yeah, kind of like when that was going out. Like one of my biggest stances, I said I just don't believe he'd be ready, and then I said I don't think you should. We kept hearing, here comes another month, here comes another month to move. Now you get to December, things are looking up. Aiden sends the first cryptic text towards the end of December, right around Christmas. Here comes another one in January. You can't have a compound fracture like that, and I see a team putting an individual in a position to come back. Like it wasn't gonna happen. So I'm glad that, in a way, we didn't have to see, or we didn't have to find out and get forced. When I tore my ACL, like legitimately tore my ACL in December, had the surgery in January, and by the third, maybe fourth month, I'm running full speed, like dynamically, and we're showing people this is the progress, this is the growth. But what you're not showing people is the lateral work. What you're not showing people is still the things that are really wrong with the injury, and you're still coming back from that. So it's great to see him. Here we are in February. There's a long time before the season starts, so he'll get that much more time to be ready, because it's going to be a hell of a year in 2025. Good to see. But he wasn't ready for the Super Bowl.
No doubt. And I think, look, and I'm glad you made that characterization, because, yes, it doesn't look like he is in football shape right now, obviously. But it does appear that he is working towards that. Mind you, this is what, February 17th?
Yeah.
They don't have to play football for another 7 months, essentially. Look at that video and then show it to me again 7 months from now. I'm sure it's going to be much different. And it doesn't have to be this poo-poo on Aiden Hutchinson video. I'm just saying that he wouldn't have been able to play in the Super Bowl. And I think Dan Campbell is as honest to the media as any head coach in the league. And what did Dan Campbell keep saying throughout all of these? Hutchinson, what's the latest on Hutchinson? Will he be able to play in a Super Bowl? And, he just kept saying, guys, he's out for the year, but if there's one person that could come back, it is Aiden Hutchinson. He was honest from the jump about that.
Pete, I want to bring you in as a Lions fan. One of the biggest things what that does, though, Ryan, what that optimism does from Aiden Hutchinson, or what it does from not knocking it down as Dan Campbell. Like, he didn't agree, but he left the door open to your feelings. Is not only as fans, it does it for the players as well. It makes the players in the locker room and Eglin Park like, yo, this guy's working. It keeps the team morale, but I think it really does it for fans as well, because it gave you guys something to be hopeful for when he had a horrible injury.
Well, I agree. I mean, we were all hoping that once the Lions made the Super Bowl that he would be ready for the Super Bowl. But just to get him back healthy and ready to go for 2026, and to make sure that he is healthy and nothing else horrible is going to happen to affect his career. That's what's most important. It's about 2025 now, guys. I mean, that's what we need to be thinking about. As long as he's good to go, I'm happy with the progression.
It was a little bit of a Freudian slip there, but I think you're right about that, and it is exactly what Dr. Jeff Pierce said, our WSN Injury Insider, because in all the talk of this Myles Garrett to Detroit stuff, which may be real, maybe it's not. We simply don't know. And by the way, tomorrow in the NFL is tag day, where players could start to get franchise tagged, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. But, for Aiden Hutchinson, it might be about that 2026 season. At least that's what Dr. Jeff Pierce said. If you think that Aiden Hutchinson is going to come back in the early part of 2025 or in 2025 at all, and play to the level that he was playing at prior to the injury, and by that, we're talking about NFL Defensive Player of the Year type play. We're not talking about just being out there being good. We're not talking about just being a little bit above average. We're talking about being the dominant force, the dominant Defensive Player of the Year award type play. If you're looking for that from Hutchinson, you might want to wait till 2026. And look, he went through a devastating injury. His leg snapped in half, and that is going to take time physically for sure. But Braylon, you know as well as anybody, 90% of that injury is going to be mental. When you're out there on the field, the mental wherewithal to have and to come back and play from that injury, that's going to be every bit as important as the physical restrictions that he may face in the 2025 season.
Yeah, you got to look at it from this standpoint. Year one, Aiden comes into the league, 2021, he gets drafted. He has a pretty good rookie year, 4 interceptions, first time that's ever been done from his position. That's a really good year. Year two, he compounds on that success. He comes out here, he has 13, he has 12 and a half sacks. That next year starts to take that next step. So now in year three, he has learned the game, learned the speed of the game. He's developed as a player. He's gotten the confidence level down, and he's gotten consistency out of his defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. So now he comes into this past season. I'm the guy. Confidence level through the roof. This is going to be the season. Now we saw what happened in the beginning, and now he has a compound fracture that takes him out early in the season. The mental part of coming back from that, because it's not just coming back from an injury. Now you have to start the process over. Okay, now I got to get healthy enough and get my mental back right. That's what the name of the game is when you come in as a rookie. It's getting the mental right. The physical is there. So now he has to start that process over of getting the mental right. Now it's being comfortable to put my foot in the ground to take on a double team block. Am I going to be okay? Is my ankle going to give out? Like, these are the type of mental things that happen. And then also, it wasn't just a regular injury. Like, he wasn't running a route, or he wasn't, trying to get off the ball and put his foot in the ground and his ACL gave out, or his ankle broke. Like, it was a horrific injury that happened on national TV. He has to remember that moment, Ryan. That's PTSD. That's PTSD in that moment. That's watching it live. That's not watching that moment, or wherever it is for he and his family. So there's a lot that he'll have to overcome. The one silver lining that you can point out in this, is it happened early on in the season, and it is a bone situation. Bones heal a lot better than ligaments do, and the earlier you get hurt, the faster you get back. You see the video, he's already running full speed. Well, he's already running some level of speed that's over 50 vertically, and here we are in February. So he has a long time. But the mental aspect will be the one, and that's why you have the conversations of whoever's going to be on that other side of him to start the season is going to do a lot of work as well, because it's going to take him a second to come back into that mode. You don't just go from defensive player of the year mode to compound fracture to coming back in the offseason. Now you start next season or this season coming up, 2025, right back at that level. Takes a little second to get back to that spot. So we don't know if that's 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. But the good news is it happened early. He will be healthy. He will get back so that he can get that process figured out faster, the better.
So Aiden Hutchinson is on the table if anybody wants to talk about that. Also, Braylon, you know, if the Lions don't make any moves, I'm talking zero bringing in guys, just getting their own guys back. And by getting their own guys back, I do mean re-signing Carlton Davis. That is in this. Do you think the Lions have enough defensively to compete for and win a Super Bowl next year?
Yes, I think they do. 100%. I think if everybody comes back, you bring back a Davenport that was supposed to be there for the Lions. Then you have Aiden Hutchinson come back and figure out eventually DJ, Aleem, Carlton Davis II. Yes, I think they have enough, Ryan, but the game isn't it's not can you get it done with that. It's do we feel like we need more? And I think the Lions need more. I'm comfortable that this team, as currently constructed, if they pay the guys that they should, if they pay their talent, yeah, this team can win a Super Bowl. But am I confident to say I think they'll be the Super Bowl frontrunner? No. Am I confident to say that I know they're going to make the Super Bowl? No. Am I confident to say that they're going to win the North? Maybe. Like, that's the difference. Can they win? Yes. But adding that extra piece, adding that person to make you be like, okay, the Eagles or teams like that, Ryan, what they do is they go out and they make sure they have more than enough. So it's not about can you win with this? Yeah, we can win with this, but let's add this player. Let's add this piece. Let's add that piece. So we for sure feel like we can walk into the Super Bowl and leave champs. Like, I think that's where the Lions are. This team, sure, they can win it. Do I believe they are? No.
I think it was you that sent it to me. Did you see the expected landing spot for Myles Garrett?
100%.
Do you want to share it with the people? The Philadelphia Eagles?
What?
I talked about it last week. What did I say? I said they got a lot. They got a couple players. Brandon Graham's contract is gone. Darius Slay's contract is gone. Mitchell contract is gone.
Milton Williams, one of the most underrated players on the Eagles defense, 26 years old. He is available as well.
2 sacks in the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
I mean, Josh Sweat. He's up. He's 28 years old. Milton Williams, 26 years old. These guys are up. Zach Bond, the linebacker, they're not going to let him go. No. But when you talk about the Eagles' defense has 3 players in the top 10 of the best 100 free agents of 2025. The Eagles' defense has 3 of them.
Let me ask you a question.
In the top 10.
Why is it that here's a good one, because I posted a comment to one of our posts on Woodward Sports. We were talking about Jared Goff. It was just the Lions fan base as a whole. Here's a good one. Why is it that the Philadelphia Eagles, who just won a Super Bowl, who have this amazing team, why are they trying to rework their deal to get Myles Garrett? Like, let that sink in, Ryan. The Philadelphia Eagles are the current Super Bowl champs in your conference, and they are trying to rework their team to potentially land Myles Garrett. And you guys are telling me, oh, we don't want to mess up how we've been doing it. Right. Oh, no, we don't want to do it that way. Now, we like the way Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have built it thus far. The Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman. But you mean to tell me you can't do that? That's doing too much? These are the kind of conversations that I want to have in this offseason before we get to the draft, because if they are Super Bowl winning and they're going after Myles Garrett or they're trying to it lets you know you can never be comfortable with what you have, because each year it gets harder. Each year it gets tougher.
What do you know about Kelvin Shepherd? And he has been an understudy for Aaron Glenn since day one, and I think he is going to bring his own personality to this defense. But I think it is imperative to get a guy like Carlton Davis back. I think you are for Kelvin Shepherd, I think it's important that you take care of absolutely one side of the field, and Carlton Davis can do that. We still don't know truly what Terrion Arnold is. We think he's going to be a good player. We don't know that.
Yeah.
We know Carlton Davis is a good player. We think, actually, I don't even know if we even think about anything about Ennis Rakestraw because we haven't seen him on the field.
Yeah.
We truly don't know about anybody else back there that can give you what Carlton Davis can. He is absolutely a necessity to re-sign, is he not?
No, he's definitely a necessity to re-sign. He had a forearm injury. It's not it was forearm, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, he had a forearm injury. It's not lower extremity. It's not leg. It's not knee. It's not ankle. Forearms, and he's in the secondary. He'll be fine coming up with this season. Yeah, he showed you that you could depend on him. He didn't mind talking that talk to the number one receivers.
He's a top cover guy.
100%. He's top,
certainly for the Lions.
He's at least top 12.
Yeah.
And as I look at the stats, maybe he climbs higher, but he's a guy that didn't mind talking stuff to that number one receiver, didn't mind matching up with that number one receiver, a lot of pressure put on him, made plays, when the call. Look, he was a little aggressive. He got some penalties, but so what? Name me the great DB or name me the really good DB that's not aggressive and doesn't collect the penalty here or there. I played with Richard Sherman. I played with Darrell Reeves. Pause on both of those comments. Like, those guys were aggressive. They got penalties, but they knew what they were doing. So he showed you last year that he was about this team. He showed you that he could step up because that was the question. We wanted him on a one-year deal. Can he match up with the number one guy and you feel comfortable? I think he showed us that, so I think you reward him. I like him on that squad, man. You need him.
Well, I was just going to ask you a question, not to kind of push back on you guys, but maybe just a little bit of a pushback. Carlton Davis has not played a full season. Right. And I don't know if that's on the Lions or even Tampa Bay's strength and conditioning. I don't know how that works out. Bray, you would know better than I do. But wouldn't you guys be a little bit concerned that he doesn't play all 17 games, and then plus you need him for the additional 3 in the playoffs? I mean, wouldn't that be a concern?
I think the thing that sucks for him but works for the Lions is by him getting injured, he can't get the money that he wants or maybe even deserve. Like, he got hurt. He broke his forearm during the season. He can't now come here and try to, whatever his ceiling was before the season. Now he has to drop that ceiling because he has to realize that he did get injured. He got injured in a major part of the season. So if somebody's going to commit to him long term, he's going to have to take a hit as it relates to that per year. So
he came back from the forearm though and played. It was the jaw that he hurt late.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It was the jaw that he came back and hurt late.
He's aggressive.
I will say this. I think that I understand your point about not being able to play a full injury, but it's not a ligament, it's not a knee, it's not something that happened to his legs, his bottom half, a pause. If that was the case, then I think maybe you get concerned about it. But when you're talking about a jaw or you're talking about a forearm that he came back from and played with, I think that injury is kind of one of those freak things that you put off to the side and don't consider. So I think Davis is an absolute necessity for this team just because I don't think even the Lions really know what they have in Rakestraw and Arnold. Again, Arnold is better with Davis than without Davis.
Because he doesn't have to go against number one. He can match up against number two. Like with the Carlton Davis situation, Pete, you bring up a good point. Excuse me for blanking on the fractured jaw. But with that being said, Carlton Davis showed you that he could play that position. He showed you he wasn't afraid. And in Detroit, this has been a position, like I mentioned it last week, this has been a position like the running back position where hasn't been a ton of success for the Lions in history at the DB position. You can name about 3-4. Dre Blyde, Darius Slay. After that, it starts to get hairy. And he showed us last year that I don't mind going to number one and having success against the number one. So as a GM, Brad Holmes, I can't just look at that and say, but he hasn't finished season. I have to look at that and say, nah, when he was out there on that field, we didn't worry about who he was covering. Like, that's a really good feeling to have, especially as you're trying to work out this defensive line. So I'm with Ryan. I'm aligned in this. I like Carlton Davis. It took this season for me to really see if I was going to like him for the Lions. But
is there a way the Lions can protect him then, because of the importance that he has on the field, to make sure that he is available for those 3 extra games when the postseason comes? That he can the Lions' strength and conditioning change like a off-season program for him to keep him healthier? If they do re-sign him, so he can play those extra 3 playoff games that we'll need him for.
His stuff is his situation, his injuries, like Ryan said, a little bit differently. It's just a part of playing the game. It happens. So there's nothing you can really, as a strength and conditioning coach, you can overly prepare for a broken jaw.
Gotcha.
Overly prepare for a broken wrist. So it's tough to be at that. So you can't prepare for it.
Our good friend Ken Brown from WJR says, franchise Davis, have him for one more year. I don't think that's a terrible idea. The franchise tag for a cornerback is around $20 million this year, but the Lions, Brad Holmes has never franchised anybody since he's been here in Detroit. I don't believe the Lions, if memory serves correct, have actually used the franchise tag in over 5-6 years. I don't. I'd have to go back and look. I just don't think they've done that. And I certainly know that Brad Holmes has never used the franchise tag since he's been here. So I don't know if that's something he would do. Is Carlton Davis an absolute candidate to be franchised? 100%. If there was a guy to franchise, it would be Carlton Davis. I just don't know if that's how Brad Holmes operates, just because he hasn't done that so far.
And that's the part, and that's the thing that we're going to see moving forward in this offseason. We keep using this term, what Brad Holmes hasn't done, or Brad Holmes hasn't done that so far, or since he's been the GM, he hasn't done those things.
Point.
But you know what, Ryan? This will be the first year, tell me I'm wrong, that their momentum is not doing this. Their momentum is now on the decline, and I only say that because of how the season finished. Like season 1, 3-13-1. Season 2, 9-8. Going up. Season 3, 12-5. Season 4, 15-2, but you lost in the first round of the play. You lost in the second round, which was your first game, and you had 23 injuries in totality. You lost two coordinators, the two best coordinators in the game as of last year. The momentum is no longer going up. If you don't want to say down, that's fine. The arrow is at least straight, and last time I checked, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
I want to thank our crack research staff, Pete Spivak.
You got it, brother.
For letting us know that it was 2018 Ezekiel Ansah, the last Lions player to be a franchise player.
$17.1 million.
Yeah.
I know his chef. He used to be at Uptown a lot. Uptown Bar and Grill. Shout out to Ziggy, man.
Let me ask you, before we wrap this part of the discussion up, Kelvin Shepherd. Your expectation for Kelvin Shepherd this year is what? What do you think he's going to be as the Lions defensive coordinator?
I think he's going to be really good. Like I'm not going to say great and overshoot or anything like that. I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be attention to detail, much like Aaron Glenn was. I think he's going to get under and after these guys, much like Aaron Glenn, his mentor. But at the same time, one thing that Dan Campbell does is he empowers his players and his coaches. You always talk about it, the Hard Knocks episode. What did he say to Kelvin Shepherd?
You be you.
I wish you would. I wish you would cut your hair. I want you to be you. I think that's a battery pack they got put in his back then, and I think now we'll get a chance to see like what that really did to him in that moment. I think he's going to be really good in this year, man. He has a lot of talent, realistically. Let's just say they keep the players that they have. You got Aleem McNeil coming back, who's always been extended. Aleem McNeil was starting. He was starting to come into his own. Like, I still look at that game where he dominated. Who's the boy, the guard from Nelson? Like, Nelson's one of the best offensive linemen. He dominated him. You look at Hutch when he comes back and a couple other players. So I think he has some weapons mixed in with the draft. I think he'll be really good coming off the heels of Aaron Glenn, but it's because Dan Campbell told him, he said, I want you to be you, and I think that went a long way.
All right, we're going to switch it up. We've got a lot to discuss. I want to talk a little bit of this hockey. I want to talk about NBA All-Star Game. I want to talk about Michigan Wolverines. I want to talk Tigers. I want to go around the NFL.
SNL 50.
SNL 50. We've got a ton to discuss here today, but we're going to take a break. When we come back, all of that. But first, a message from Caesars.
That's right, everybody. Scan that QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 when you open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. When you scan that QR code and use the code word Woodward1000, deposit at least $20 into your new Caesars Sportsbook account and make a bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, you'll get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000, but only if you scan the QR code above my head and use the code word Woodward1000 to open up your brand new Caesars Sportsbook account. We'll be right back.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Dreaming of a new car but feeling that financial pinch? Mark White and Associates are your trusted real estate experts. They're here to help you. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 on your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today right now, 248-290-8242. Or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today, 248-290-8242, and make your dreams come true.
Hey, gang, welcome back. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Tom Mazaway is out today.
The chair's here.
That's Tom Mazaway out today. He'll be back later in the week. Pete Spivak and the great Ricky Burns alongside with us. I threw the great in there, buddy.
I appreciate it. I noticed that. I was going to let it sit.
I wanted a little,
I didn't want to say anything. I was going to let it sit.
Wanted a little, acknowledgement.
Appreciate that. It's good to be acknowledged.
So
I just hate this app.
So listen to me. What app do you hate?
Sneaker app.
Oh,
like the Nike sneaker app. Like they are dropping so much heat in 2025. Ryan, it's unfair. Like you go broke buying gym shoes.
So I got out the game.
I'm telling you, I'm on this app. I'm like, dang, they're literally dropping the phone posits.
I got
on my birthday.
I got out the game.
Like, hey, come on, Ricky, come back. I need another sucker.
I sold sneakers. No, I'm out.
That's so
my
great.
God. Yeah.
Guys, I wanted to talk a little hockey. And trust me, if anybody, you guys have been, maybe you haven't listened to this show over the last number of years. We really don't talk a lot of hockey on this show. I think D-Mac really, and the Big D Energy guys do it so well.
Shout out to Neil Rule, D-Mac.
Neil Rule, D-Mac, Sean Belegian as well. Those guys talk hockey so well and so eloquently. They could talk circles around us as far as hockey is concerned.
He's got 4 Stanley Cups.
Yeah, right. So I kind of leave it for them. But I was watching on Saturday night, USA and Canada, and that game had me on the edge of my seat. literally on the edge of my seat. I was going nuts. And it got me to thinking. And I tweeted this out, Braylon. And I'm curious to see what everybody in the chat thinks as well. I don't think there's another sport, another team sport, that it means as much to the players as in hockey to wear their country across the front of the chest. And of course in soccer, in Europe, perhaps, obviously, but as far as what I should have said, what my tweet should have said was Americans. There isn't another American team sport that means as much to wear across your chest than those hockey players. Basketball, maybe some guys don't want to play on Team USA. I don't want to play on Team USA. What about in baseball with the World Baseball Classic? They don't want to play. I mean, look at these guys. I mean, it is.
This is.
I got
a
Spartans.
on that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, there's no audio.
It's only on one channel.
And that was tweeted out by USA Hockey. Oh, mama, don't you cry. Oh, mama, don't you cry. And what I tweeted over the weekend, Braylon, was I'm not sure there's a sport in the world where international play means as much as it does than in hockey. And, of course, the soccer people came at me and all that stuff, and I understand that. But what I should have said...
Soccer isn't one of the big four here.
I should have said in this country... The Americans in this country, basketball players opt out of the Olympics, one after the next, not sure if they want to play. Baseball players, whether it's an Olympic sport, whether it's not, whether it's the World Baseball Classic, whether it's not everybody will participate because they are so concerned about what will happen to their team sport, whether it be for the Lakers or whether it be for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything. So what I'm trying to say is the joy that Dylan Larkin had, the opportunity to wear that Team USA jersey across the front of his sweater.
And score the game winner.
But just the opportunity to be on the team. Forget about playing good. Just the opportunity to be included on that team means more to hockey players than in any other sport. I truly believe that.
Here's my thoughts on this, and Pete. I want you to go next.
Sure, buddy.
You have
and I do have some breaking news when you're done with your thought.
There are four major sports here. Three of the major sports: baseball, basketball, football. Basketball, James Naismith, Canada, but it's an American sport. Basketball is American. Football is American. Baseball is American. Hockey's the only one that's not ours. It's Canada, and then Russia made it great. And then you go back to the Miracle on Ice, which you talked about last week was the anniversary, I believe, or 2 weeks ago.
That's
the Miracle on Ice. That's when USA finally had a chance, and they took it. And then they said, we're a player in this sport as well. And now a lot has happened from now till then. But it's the one sport where you still, look, this wasn't our sport. So we got to keep letting you know we're just as good, if not better. We got to strike while the iron's hot. That's why there's so much emphasis from USA hockey players, because even if they weren't alive for Miracle Nights, a lot of these guys are young. That same energy from it not being one of our, or not being an original American sport, they carry that energy, and you see it in these games. It means a lot to them. 100%. Football is they don't care in football because it's here. Baseball is here. It's that same American arrogance where it's like, oh, no, I don't care about basketball. Like, this is our country. That's our sport. It started here.
Until Spain whoops up on you.
This is true. And then you got to go back to the drawing boards, and then you're forced to care more. And then that redeem team, Kobe brought the we care back.
Yeah.
And that's how it's always been in hockey, because you weren't number one in hockey. It's the one sport out of the four where it's not our sport realistically. It's Canada and Russia. And I think that's why you see it. It's always going to be there. Because USA feels like they're inferior, I think, underneath the surface, but they know they're not.
It's like gladiator style, man. I mean, when you have country versus country, I mean, this is like gladiators. This is like, men versus animals and animals versus men. I mean, this is about pride. This is about your friends. It's more about the guy next to you than anything else. I mean, you could put a different color sweater or a different color helmet on somebody, Bray, and you could say, yeah, it's my teammate.
True,
but when it's your countryman, when you're the same blood and the same, kind of genre, you guys live the same way, that's a different story. Now it's my brother. I mean, it could be my brother, a teammate, but now you got my countryman here versus another countryman. Yeah. And I love the gladiator feel, guys. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Well, obviously, I think you guys love it. The gladiator feel of what's going on in this Four Nations.
Talking about the Kachuk brothers?
Huh?
You talking about the Kachuk brothers?
But listen. Listen,
Eddie brothers.
There's no other sport as well. I mean, and I go back to Saturday night where
2 fights.
3 fights in the first 9 seconds.
Yeah,
so great.
You want to talk about, and even just the fact that how these guys play so hard, and we'll talk about the NBA All-Star game or whatever it is coming up in just a second, but these guys play so hard, and I know you can't compare an All-Star game to international play, but even think about Team USA basketball.
Yeah.
I think those guys are playing defense, and they're just lollygagging until the fourth quarter, shooting threes and then doing this, that, and the other thing. I mean, the intensity, the sense of urgency is not there. Yeah. And in baseball, it's a little hard to compare that urgency.
It
is because you just it's just not the same.
And it's not fair to try to judge urgency in baseball because one guy may not be involved, but
But I mean, is Mike Trout on that team? I mean, is Bryce
Judge.
Harper on that team?
Bryce
is
Harper,
Hudge?
Aaron Judge.
All of these. That's kind of what I'm getting at. When in hockey, you got to stand in line.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not one of the best 16 forwards, you're out.
Hockey's also one of those the lowest paying sports. Yeah. Like those first two you mentioned, at basketball and at baseball, man, we got too much money. You know what? I know you guys are probably going to end up playing against Shohei Ohtani this year, but I'm good. I got some other things going on. I want to make sure I'm getting paid too much money. I don't have to dial into what our country is doing, and I think that's a bit disconnect as well.
And that makes me think about all those other sports that we only see at the Olympics. They get no coverage until they're with their countrymen, like a water polo,
volleyball.
Volleyball. It makes you think about those.
Dude, I feel like soccer's the same way. I mean, we really truly only pay attention here.
I watched the MLS Championship
World Cup
cleaning the house. It was by accident. I had no idea it was on. I turned on TV. I'm like, oh, it's the championship today? I had no idea.
Well, why? Why is that? Because soccer has never been one of our major sports. It's starting to come back. But
and our team sucks.
But that's what I'm saying, because it's never been one of our major sports. So the team's always been bad. There was no emphasis on soccer here. Yeah. Like most countries, best players play soccer. Their best athletes play soccer.
You're right.
LeBron James doesn't play soccer. Right. Justin Jefferson doesn't play soccer. Like our best players don't play soccer. Man. It's never been a focal point.
You said you had breaking news.
I was about to say, there is one sport that we all do like. It is the NFL, and I do have a little breaking news in the NFL. Courtesy of James Rappian of the Cincinnati Bengals. He's a Cincinnati Bengals reporter. They are going to franchise T. Higgins. Tagging T. Higgins.
And that's smart.
Well, it's smart, too. Wait, first of all, nobody, $5. Thanks on the Super Chat. Hockey and soccer are the best when played by the national team. Also, Bray, what's it like to be a living legend? Shout out. Ryan, Pete, and Big Willie.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that, man. That's love, man. It's good when I can talk to guys like yourself, man, so I appreciate it.
That's right. You know what? That was a direct, probably, reflection of Joe Burrow's Super Bowl week, saying we absolutely have to have T. Higgins back. No. And Braylon, you tell me, I mean, as a player, does T. Higgins want to be franchised, or does T. Higgins want his $30 million a year with the New England Patriots or something like that?
I think it's one of those tough situations. It's one of those spots the answer is, Ryan, you want stability.
Yep.
You want money and stability while you're young enough. You've earned it. T. Higgins has been a name for the last 4 years. You saw what he did in the Super Bowl, even though it was a push-off. You saw what he did in the Super Bowl, and you've seen what his career has been and how he's helped the Cincinnati Bengals. When he's there, they're the best version of themselves. But look, you don't get to play the NFL game forever. You don't get to sit on the bench and be year 15, 16, 17 like you do in the MLB and NBA. Like, your time comes and your time goes. So you want some stability. Yeah, I want a contract that says you're willing to pay me this because I've earned it, and I know I'm good. If I get hurt, I'm covered and I'm taken care of. So, yes, that's what you want. But with that being said, you want to win too. I think winning is a part of the equation, and Joe Burrow's one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen in a very long time. Jamar Chase, one of the best wide receivers that we've seen in a very long time. I even like their young running back. So maybe you give it one last chance. The only thing that sucks though, Ryan, is you're on a franchise that we have seen year after year after year after year. You've heard Maz, who's not here today, but is always sitting in that chair football season when the topic of the Bengals come up, talking about the ownership not wanting to spend money. Look at the situations that you have now. How long did it take them to play Joe Burrow? They still haven't paid Jamar Chase. So when you're on that franchise,
wide receiver tag, by the way, $25 million.
And that's why I said, and that's what I said.
He's not going to show.
You said what?
He's going to force a trade.
Force a trade? But look what happened to Brandon Ayuk last year.
Oh, yeah. Where'd he go?
Brandon Ayuk did all that just to come back to 49ers for the same original deal.
Yeah, that's true. T. Higgins is not going to be happy about that. Smart. I guarantee you he's not going to be happy.
And this is what sucks. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't as a player.
The player is going to get all of the vitriol and all of the hate.
You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. T. Higgins has put himself in a situation where he shouldn't have to worry about a franchise tag after 6 years in the league. Because I think this will be a 6-year coming up. You're franchising him. He's played at a tremendous level when healthy. He's helped get you to a Super Bowl, performed in the Super Bowl. Like, he's one of those number twos that a lot of people in the NFL believe could be a number one. Like, it sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking, Jamar Chase signed 4 years, $120 million. T. Higgins, 4 years, $120 million all day.
All day.
Not with Cincinnati, but he could absolutely get that with the New England Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
It's $30 million.
$30 million is the going rate for a top 8 wide receiver.
But see, that's why I push back. He's not top 8.
But he's a top 8 because he's a free agent in 2025.
Okay, fair.
You know what I mean?
It's timing.
It's okay. Timing is everything, man. Timing is everything.
Yeah, no, you're right. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. My year that I finished my contract with, so my 7th season, which was the last year off my rookie year deal, was after the second AFC Championship, Ryan, AFC appearance with the Jets. That contract year for me, lockout. You talking about time, man. The contract year, and my agent always said, shout out to Lamont Smith, he always told my mom, he said, man, his 7 years is going to suck because they're going to go to lockout. He said this 7 years prior. He said, I know they're going to go to lockout, and if we can't get anything sure. This is when the NFL was doing 6 and 7 year deals. Like, you weren't getting out. So I did a 7 year deal with a 6-year option, and I got to that 7th year. It was over. It was the lockout. Jets chose to pay Santonio Holmes. Now I'm like blowing like a candle in the wind. But timing, it is everything.
So here you go, Bray. You're at, okay, Justin Jefferson, $35 million a year. CeeDee Lamb, $34 million.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, $32 million. Would he get more than any of those guys?
No.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, $30 million. Brandon Ayuk, $30 million. Tyreek Hill, $30 million.
That's where, it's funny when you say it like that, that's where he's at. And for everybody out there, I did not say that he was better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I'm saying that's the tier price point. Because you know who else is on that level that Amon-Ra St. Brown is better than? It's Brandon Ayuk. If Brandon Ayuk is worth $30 million, T. Higgins is worth $30 million because I think T. Higgins is a better receiver.
And then you're looking at Jalen Waddle, $28 million.
No.
Devontae Adams, $28 million.
Yes.
DJ Moore, $27 million. Cooper Kupp, $26 million. And then you're going to pay T. Higgins $25 million. There is no way he's showing up to camp. No way.
No way.
Yeah. And you already know what that organization is. You already know how that influx is going to happen. So they're just an off organization because I don't think they like their coach. I don't think they like Zach Taylor. I think he's got some issues.
He's got a lot of issues, and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase bailed him out going to the Super Bowl that one year. It's
100%.
You know,
Good call.
1,000%.
they just absolutely bailed him out.
Good call.
He's missed the playoffs last 2 years in a row.
No
Good
kidding,
Think about
man.
that. And I know they were injured 2 years ago. He missed playoffs this season. And last time I checked, they missed the playoffs the year before that as well.
That's true.
You know, while we're talking about potential franchise tags right now, the number one guy that I think is going to set a lot of things in motion would be Sam Darnold. Franchise tag for a quarterback, $41 million. Now, depending upon how you feel about J.J. McCarthy, how you feel about Sam Darnold, I would not franchise Sam Darnold, and I would tell Sam Darnold, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
I think we saw what Sam Darnold is in the last 2 games of the season. Against Detroit, and then in the playoffs against Washington.
Choke artist.
You said $41
Or
million.
not Washington, against, who'd they lose to? The Rams.
The Rams.
The Rams.
You said $41 million.
$41 million is the franchise tag.
I'd say this: if I was Minnesota Vikings, and I understand where they are with their skill group, and it's actually because of this, where they are with the running back, Aaron Jones, where they are with their receiving game, T.J. Hawkinson, Jay Jettas, and then Addison, and the offensive line will be back last year. People forget they had a lot of injuries. I just start J.J. McCarthy and get them and just keep it moving. Because you drafted him to be the guy for the franchise, I would just let J.J. McCarthy rock. That offense. With that offensive coordinator, I think you'll be good enough. You're going to stumble as a young quarterback, man. I'll let J.J. cook. You don't have to pay him anything. Your offense is good enough, and then you'll add pieces on the defense in the offseason. I wouldn't play with Daniel Jones. I wouldn't waste time with Sam Darnold. I agree with you there. I just let your boy, the guy you've been lobbying for the last 3 years, I'll let J.J. cook. Why not? Your team is set up in such a way that JJ can have some early success, and he got some early learning curves as well. I think he'd be good, though.
No doubt.
Why pay anybody? Why am I paying somebody?
Again, and I think this is going to be one of those guys that once he goes, I think you're going to see a lot of dominoes fall. But then I go back to the Matthew Stafford situation. I think there's something going on with Stafford this year. There is so much smoke when it comes to Matthew Stafford. I think he's the first quarterback where the domino really falls. But tomorrow is a tag day in the NFL. Will we see Sam Darnold get tagged? I think Minnesota knows what they have now. I do. I think they're going to go with JJ.
Kevin O'Connell got the Head Coach of the Year award. Coach of the Year honors he received over Dan Campbell. And when he got up on stage, we talk about it. What did he say? He said, Sam Darnold, that's our guy. What does that mean, Ryan? Is that prisoner of the moment?
Yes.
That was Kevin O'Connell in a good moment.
lied.
Wanted to show some love live. He got caught, and then you're going to realize they're getting rid of him. Mm-hmm. That was just prisoner of the moment.
I think prisoner of the moment. And I think in that moment when you are Coach of the Year, you do thank the people that got you there. But I think Sam Darnold was a major reason why he won that award. I mean, Sam Darnold was the quarterback that now is the answer to a trivia question. Who holds the record for most wins in a season in his first year with that team?
Sam Darnold.
14 wins. He's the answer to a trivia question, and I don't think you can poo-poo what he does, but it goes back to this, Braylon. It goes back, and I tie it all back with the Detroit Lions. What kind of team do you want to be? Do you want to be a very good team? You kind of want to win 11, 12, 13 games, which in this NFL, where you have so many bad teams now, the NFL used to not have as many bad teams as they do now. So, an 8-8 team back in the day would now be a 10-6 team. I kind of feel like that, right? Because the NFL has a lot of good teams and a lot of bad teams. They used to have 3 or 4 really good teams and 3 or 4 really bad teams, and then everybody else was in the middle.
Why is that now? The salaries?
Quarterback play. I mean, there's only so many great quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I could count them on, 4. I mean, it's Mahomes, Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. After those 4, everybody else is under the tier. I mean, Jaden Daniels, Matt Stafford. I mean, those two are the next two, I would say, and then everybody's under that. You know, if I was ranking quarterbacks.
Yeah. Why is it? You're right. I think it's quarterback play, and I think it's funny. All the elite quarterbacks, it seems, are in the AFC, and then all the really good teams, it seems, are in the NFC.
Right.
If you just look at wins and total teams, seems like it's in the NFC.
No doubt. So we will certainly keep an eye on the NFL tag day. But yeah, T. Higgins looks like he's going to get tagged by the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow said it was imperative for the Bengals to keep him. It was imperative for the Bengals to keep Trey Hendrickson. And also, if you're T. Higgins, man, if you see them pay Hendrickson when they could have paid Higgins and tagged Hendrickson, no, thank you.
Yeah, true. Like, I think two things can be true. I think from his standpoint, he's right. Oh, man, I've been here. You didn't have my back. But from their standpoint, Trey Hendrickson has either led the league or been close to leading the league the last 3 years from that position. So
$23 million the tag on defensive.
Yeah, you got to have one of those guys looking, and they decided to pay him. Yeah, Trey Hendrickson, as they should. At least I believe so.
I have sided with the player now. Now, Ayuk, no. Because I think everything is situational. Brandon Ayuk, you take Brandon Ayuk off of the San Francisco 49ers, he's a fourth option on that team.
Yeah.
Fourth. I mean, after McCaffrey, after Debo, after Kittle, and then you go Ayuk, okay? Yeah. So if he wants to go get his money elsewhere,
they like Tim Jennings better than him, too.
Well, exactly. I mean, when you're looking at T. Higgins, it's Jamar Chase and then T. Higgins. So you are the second best option on that team. When you look at the second best option on, let's say, the Detroit Lions, you know, you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then you've got Jahmyr Gibbs. I know it's a different position, but you go offensive threat to me. That's how you go about paying players.
I'd say Amon-Ra St. Brown is the second option.
Well, fine.
To Jahmyr.
But he's on a rookie deal. So, but I'm just saying, when he gets paid, he's going to get paid. I see your point about that, but
but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and I know what you're saying, and you know what I'm saying, and we know what we're saying.
Freaking 4 years of doing this.
Love for you guys to get along.
All right, guys, we'll take a break. I do want to talk about this NBA situation.
Oh, it was such an.
We'll have that for you next. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Look, your fitness is essential, so we need you to come on down to Planet Fitness. There are over 50 metropolitan Detroit locations, so there's a gym close to you. Wherever you are, they can find you. Just pull up on them. It's a squeaky clean gym that has no judgment and squeaky clean. And then they have trainers that come in every form of membership that you can get. This is the place for you. And the best thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, is it's fitness that fits into your budget. So not trying to charge your arm or leg. Come on down to Planet Fitness, get in the membership, because summer is around the corner.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Hey gang, welcome back. As we start off hour number 2, I want to tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It is wicked awesome. We take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. No Tom Mazaway today. We've got Ricky Burns in the house. We've got Pete Spivak in the house. Braylon, I don't even know if I am allowed to comment on this next topic because it did absolutely zero for me. Okay. Zotsky, not even 0.5. My only knowledge of NBA All-Star Weekend was the clips that I saw on X over the weekend. I didn't watch 1 minute of it. A lot of it had to do with the fact that I just didn't care about it. A lot of it had to do with I didn't understand the format this year. A lot of it had to do Saturday night during the skills competition, slam dunk, and three-point contest. This amazing sporting event of USA versus hockey versus Canada was on. Then last night, the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special was on opposite this, and I am one of the few that care about NASCAR. So the Daytona 500 was also on because of weather, so that was under the lights. So all to be told, I had zero interest in the All-Star game, and after what Draymond Green said about it, which I don't, do we have that? We don't.
I didn't get that one.
Draymond Green was asked on a scale of 1 to 10, how does he feel about the NBA All-Star format? And he said,
"Is 10 the best?"
0. Yeah, he said it's 10 the best, and then he says 0. It sucks. So I feel like I didn't miss much. You have the floor.
I'll start here.
Ricky, gonna need you here too.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Saturday Night has it's come to what it's become. Like, and this is what we expect going into Saturday. You expect the dunk contest is going to be won by a guy that has more dunks, contest wins than he does dunks in NBA games. Matt McClung, he won again. Now look, the dunk he did was crazy. Like, dunk he did,
shouldn't even be allowed to play though.
The dunk he did was nuts, but like, come on, like, this is no hate to Mac McClung. Like, I could care less about anything involved with it. Like, anything. Like, I'll let Ricky start.
It was painful. There was so many people who weren't supposed to be at the All-Star game playing in All-Star events and doing All-Star things, and that was the only thing I didn't really like. It wasn't as bad as Draymond because the gameplay was better with the format to 40. That was the thing I give to them.
Let's start here. Draymond, my biggest issue with what Draymond said, it's y'all fault that it got to this point.
Yes.
And that's the one part that he skipped over.
Yes.
Now, everything that he said after that, I like. I like the fact that, you got the Rising Stars guys on Sunday, and you know how hard it was to be able to get yourself a spot in the All-Star game and then play amongst the elite. I agree with that. Like, All-Star Sunday is for the elite of the elite. I want to see, like Kobe used to say, I want to see the best pickup game in the world. So if that has to be the world versus North America or whatever you need to get to, that's what I want to get to. That's what Kobe said in his last interview with All the Smoke. He said, man, I love playing those games. I love playing the All-Star games because people want to see the best pickup game in the world. It's the elite. So that part. But Draymond, like, y'all didn't want to play. How many players have opted out? How many players don't choose to play? How many players don't give full effort? They go in there and they dunk and it's alley-oops and they shooting from half court and there's no intent. There's no intention. So the game got to that. To where now you got Adam Silver scrambling to try to change the narrative every year. Well, maybe if we do this.
To
well, maybe
save
if we do that.
your job.
Or maybe if we do this. And it all falls on this crux. And I know Maz doesn't like this person. And even though I don't defend this person because it's my guy defending because Maz is some wrong sometimes. LeBron James is the reason why we are where we are.
Yep.
LeBron James has got us to where we are. Like LeBron James is the first superstar that was allowed to not have to fall
Skip
in
the
line
dunk contest.
or not. Yeah, he skipped the dunk contest, the skills challenge. Like he didn't have to do anything, and so it led to the thinking of, well, maybe I don't have to do the dunk contest. And so now you start to get the top 10 players not being a part of the dunk contest, not being
like, why is Steph Curry not in the 3-point contest? I will never understand.
He
that.
won, but but even Steph was in it. Steph did it 3.3 times. He won twice and he lost once to Clay. At least he did 3.
That's true. Okay, but he still should be in it.
He should be in it every year.
It's year 18. He shouldn't be in year 18. Like if Steph don't want to,
but year 8,
he was in it.
year 12.
He was in it.
I think he should still be in it.
Like Steph's last 3-point contest was the one in Toronto, I think.
Yeah.
But Steph was in. To my point, Steph was in it a couple years, just like Jordan was in the dunk contest a couple years. Like every All-Star was in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Once LeBron finally said, "Look, I don't want to do it," now you create that where the people coming up underneath you. Now the class of 2004, the class of 2005, 06, 07, they can pick and choose. Now Zion Williamson doesn't have to do a dunk contest. Now Ja Morant has to wait 5 years to just drop on Twitter that, hey, maybe it's time for me to do a dunk contest. Yeah, you think?
Yeah, right?
It should have been time for Marquette. We saw we need to see out of Marquette. So LeBron allowed that to be in. They make way too much money now. Not too much, wrong word. They make so much money now. The league is owned by the players. David Stern passed away. And he left Adam Silver in charge. And Adam Silver is not David Stern, and the players take advantage of it.
Yeah.
The players manipulate certain things along the way. I love the players, and I'm for the players. They do a lot, and they get away with a lot in the NBA. And I think it started with number 23 from the Cleveland Cavaliers, now the Lakers.
That's an interesting take. But
yeah, because everyone had to fall in line back in the day.
So overall, Saturday and Sunday put together, scale of 1 to 10, how was it for you? What was your?
I mean,
can't use 7.
Like out of 10, like Saturday, Sunday, the guy, my scale
all together. Okay. Because we can go day to day, but I
Right.
feel like it's supposed to be All-Star weekend all together.
4.
Ah, man. Yeah, you better than me. I'll say a 2.
I'll give it a 4 because I at least see the NBA trying on Sunday, and that was the one thing I would say where Draymond was wrong too. The NBA's trying.
Yeah.
Like they got these guys, and maybe they don't deserve to be there on Sunday, which I agree with that they shouldn't. But at the same time, you saw some intention trying to get the 40.
Definitely, especially at the end.
Did you see Wembanyama pissed?
Oh, Wembanyama and Cade were going at it
when they let Tatum go to get the final point to get 41. Like Wembanyama was like, "Where y'all at playing defense?"
Wembanyama was going at it with Cade the first game.
Yeah, he blocked Cade dunk, and then Cade came back and then got the dunk right before Wemby got there. I think they have to take the element of the NHL. You have to make Sunday. It's got to be North America versus the world.
USA versus the world, North America versus the world.
Yeah. North America so we can get SGA.
Right.
SGA. But I think it has to be North America versus the world. I don't need these two. Because you know the other thing that sucks is me and you go back and forth about this. I'm a sucker for awards. I'm a sucker for records. I'm a sucker for, certain things. Steph got MVP yesterday. Man, Steph had like 10 points.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they only played a 40.
Yeah, Draymond brought that up. He said they can't get the records anymore. How do you feel about that?
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it. Like, real talk, like, even though it got out of hand and it was like 50 points a game is what the MVP winner was getting, but I still enjoy the MVP because there's a storyline. Yeah. You start to watch him getting a couple points in the first quarter and then the second, and now it starts to get serious. Like, I don't like that. Also, if your player – no, I didn't like it. I keep saying also. I did not like it. When your player makes the All-Star game, let's just focus completely on that. Shout out to Cade Cunningham, and I appreciate you, Pete.
I got you.
First All-Star game, Saturday night. It's in the books for Cade. and then eventually Sunday, his weekend is in the books. Cade is like a blurb on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like he's like and the man is averaging 24, 9, and 7.
Yeah.
Like he should have had a legitimate run in the All-Star game where he could have scored. Jerry Stackhouse scored 12 points in the All-Star game.
They can't even warm up because
like you don't get a chance as a person that's living in California or living in wherever, and you're not watching the Pistons. This is your chance to watch a Cade Cunningham or De'Aaron Fox or one of these players. Cade had 2 moments.
Yep.
You didn't get a chance to see him play, and then the game was over. Like that's not fair to people that. And then the thing what LeBron did on Sunday.
Oh,
LeBron always does something that reminds you that you don't like him. Like, because I give him so much credit because he deserves it all. How do you announce in year 21, 3 hours before the game, that you are that you're a scratch?
He knew he wasn't going to play.
right.
Like, and then you don't even dress like you walk out in casual clothes. Like, I'm all for the players having power, but like that was like.
At least he didn't put his son in the game.
And if David Stern was alive in the GM and the commissioner, he wouldn't have done that.
Adam Silver's a terrible commissioner.
He's a pushover. He
has allowed this game to just completely
deteriorate,
suck. And it is a world game. I see Colin tweeting out like all the billions and billions of dollars in contracts over the last decade and all that stuff, and that's great. Going to be popular in China. Go be popular in China.
Yeah.
Right.
It's great.
Marbury.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's great. Like the game here sucks.
And for those
people don't watch here.
For those that complain about the intensity and they try to say, what's the money? Because in football, I get it. You want to talk about the money in an All-Star game or a Pro Bowl? Fine. I get it. You can't tackle and you got Patrick Mahomes making $66 million next year. That's fine. In basketball, do we not watch them at the Drew all summer?
Yeah.
Going in. How many highlights do you see of Devin Booker and KD at Lifetime in New York?
For real. They'll do full
like,
runs.
They go in on these, but now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, we can't go that hard. Cut the cap.
Here's what Colin just said. NBA recently signed an 11-year deal worth $76 billion. Pretty sure they'll overcome the All-Star Weekend criticisms. Colin, for all the stuff that I love Colin about, he pulls the I'm the smartest man in the room crowd a lot, which is whatever, but
he pulls that
it is true. I mean, they just signed a deal for massive amounts of money. Somebody is watching the NBA. It's just not people in this country. Do they even care? Does Adam Silver care where the customers are coming from just as long as there are customers?
No, and I have every right to complain about it because I said that last week. I said money talks and BS walks. That's why they're making so much money that they don't have to worry about it. But it's still my right as a fan and as an analyst up here with you, Ermanni, on Woodward Sports, to complain about it. Like, I don't like it, but at least there's some effort there. But it's just a lot of things, a lot of nuances I don't like, Pete.
Can I prove both of you guys right?
Yeah.
It's just right there in the numbers.
Yeah.
You can't put a game like that on national television on Sunday night and expect people to stay interested with stats like that. Are you out of your mind?
So, can I just say this about Kevin Hart too? And I'm not a huge Kevin Hart guy. I don't think he's funny. I just don't. Maybe I'm a bad person. I just don't think Kevin Hart is funny. To have Kevin Hart on a mic
the whole
commentating
time
during
we
a
don't need
game.
That. We definitely don't need that. When we have so many NBA greats just sitting in the crowd.
Is that what you need to do to like
we have all the
drum
greats
up
just sitting there.
interest?
It's funny about those commercials. So my 5-year-old daughter was sitting there watching with me. She already is she's a Ravens fan, by the way. She gets tired of me watching Lions. So whenever sports is on, I'm never really paying attention. She's like, why is there so many commercials? I like, stop complaining. It's not that many commercials. Seeing that, can you put that back up?
Yeah, I'll put it back up.
It's crazy that she was right. I didn't even realize she was because I wasn't paying
2
attention.
hours
She was
and 26 minutes she was complaining about.
Yeah,
33 minutes of ball.
Let me ask you this.
The greats.
Let me ask you this, Ryan. Everybody is included. Is this because of where we've come as a society with our attention span? Like, could we focus on a full All-Star game?
Well, yeah. I think I think we can. I think your attention span is either it's either 10 seconds or 3 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I see what you're saying.
People people complain that I'll cut the podcast short by 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Well, they'll play
people want
7 hours
more.
of a video game.
Right.
Right.
You know, or people play 7 hours of a video game. Or like you look at Joe Rogan, the #1 podcast, these things last 3 hours.
Yeah.
4 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
4 hours sometimes. It's like marathons. Who's got 3 hours, 4 hours to listen to anything? Or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Nothing between there will satisfy you.
But I think
so attention spans, yes and no.
Podcasts are always different, though. With a podcast, to your point, people that dive in them, they dive in them. But I think a podcast, you can always do what? You can always hit pause. And you can come at some version of the day, finish it up, or the next day, finish it up. Like basketball, an all-star game, like, you're not hitting pause and recording and saving and watching this later. Like, if you're not going to watch it then, you're not going to watch it. And I don't think people are watching.
Regular season game, I would say yes. But for all-star game, because most people usually you can watch an all-star game, you're a fan. I think they'll be able to sit around and watch the full game. So, I mean, regular season game, no. All-star game, yeah, we can sit through the full one.
Let me ask you this question while we're on the topic of the NBA.
It just sucks that, last thing I'll say about it.
No, go ahead.
It just sucks for me that Victor Wembanyama is the Greek freak. Excuse me. He's the alien. He's the next one. He's up next. This is year 2 for him. How many more All-Star games is KD playing in? Or Steph? Or insert player here? Wouldn't you have wanted to see the moment with Steph and Wemby for a longer amount of time?
Yeah.
KD and Wemby a longer allotted amount of time?
Yeah.
Like, is KD playing next year?
Right.
Like, is Steph playing next? Like, so these are the things, too, that piss you off. Like, Wemby, you want to see those, the moments we have. 2003, Michael Jordan and Kobe.
Right.
Shoot, 98, the first time they ever laced up against each other.
They were showing the Vince Carter, which I think was a bad setup. They were showing the Vince Carter dunk contest before this dunk
2000.
contest, which was a horrible lay-in because it's like you can't beat that still to this day.
Yeah, 2000.
I got a question for Ryan. Ryan, you were talking about NASCAR, and I know that I'm not a huge NASCAR guy, but I do know that NASCAR has changed its formats over the years with how they run. Is it the bigger races in stages?
Yeah.
Does the NBA All-Star Game kind of remind you? Are they kind of going down that road?
No, I just think they're just grasping at straws. I just think they're grasping.
I think Saturday is done and over. Like, at the end of the day, how many more dunks can you do? Like,
right.
I think we've gotten to a point where the creativity level, like dunks, like you
to
see
bring a car in. Like, come on, man.
Like, he bought the car and it took forever. I mean, he jumped over. It looked dope, but like, if I'm
Come on now.
Anthony Edwards, I'm not jumping over the hood,
Right.
like here,
Right.
whether I can do it or not. I'm not jumping over the sunroof.
They don't have time. He's actually playing. He don't have time to practice that.
100%.
Let me ask you, while we're on the topic of All-Stars in the NBA, I look at the Pistons. And it was great to see Cade Cunningham
For 2 minutes.
get rewarded
Asar
to
Thompson.
be on the team.
Yes.
And Asar Thompson was in the Rising Stars. I look at the NBA, the Eastern Conference. Cleveland. Let's look at the teams above Detroit right now. Detroit currently in the 6th spot. Cleveland, multiple All-Stars. Boston, multiple All-Stars. New York, multiple All-Stars. Indiana only had one All-Star, but has Halliburton been an All-Star before?
Yeah.
Okay, so even though it's not this year, they have had multiple All-Stars. Milwaukee, even though it's not this year, they have had multiple All-Stars. Detroit, one All-Star. Who could be that second All-Star type player? I'm not talking about a rising star guy like Asar Thompson. Who could be that next All-Star for the Detroit Pistons? How imperative is it for the Pistons to have that second All-Star? I mean, we talk about teams that win NBA championships having multiple Hall of Famers on their team. Tell me the team that won an NBA title that did not have multiple Hall of Famers on the team. Now you look at Detroit, they've got one All-Star. They don't even have a second All-Star. So who would be that next guy if you had to say?
Only 2 players, and I think one player is injured right now, and we'll know he's going to. Yeah, I believe he'll come back from the injury. Talking about Jaden Ivey, but Jaden Ivey versus Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
Because I think it's popularity, too. Like, once a team gets popular, once you start winning games, you have to reward that team for winning games. And I think Jalen Duren is going to be your guy that's going to average 18 and 15. You got a guy
21 years old.
You got a guy
has to be him.
You got him averaging 18 and 15. It's just like Andre Drummond. That's how Andre Drummond became an All-Star. He got in the dunk contest in 2016, but he was averaging 19 and 20, 19 and 19 or 19 and 20 talking about rebounds and points. He was averaging the double-double, but that's how he got in. So I think Jalen Duren, I think he's your guy, and I think it's to the tune of 18 and 19 to 15 and 16.
Malik Beasley, you think he can do something soon? I mean, because first game I watched this season, he had got the 3-point record. So then I started watching a couple highlights. I mean,
why wasn't he in the 3-point contest? And then we could have had 2 guys.
Yeah.
3.
That was that's an interesting one. I didn't consider him. I do think if the Pistons are going to truly compete for a championship, it's got to be Duren. More so than Duren or Beasley or anybody else. You know, Cade's got to be your best player. Duren's got to be your second best player. And then if Malik Beasley is the third best player on your team, if Jaden Ivey is the third best player on your team, now we're cooking.
Because all due respect, the team is still young, and you're still trying to find who your team is. So, like, Jalen Duren really
should be a junior in college.
Yeah, 100%, Bricky. Oh, no, Jalen Duren's your guy. He's young. Like, this team isn't together yet. They don't have a ton of all-stars. They got, like you said, Malik Beasley. Malik's a 6 right now, so he's a 6-man all-star. Yeah, Jalen Duren has to be the guy. He's still young. He's a double-double walking machine, and he's getting better. You're starting to see he has a little bit of a post presence, a little bit of some post moves. That was another big thing with him. Is he didn't have any post-game move. He didn't have any of that. He's starting to develop. You're seeing a different player.
Is it the greatest turnaround in the history of college basketball? We'll have that for you. Kevin up next. But first, a message from Dr. Jeff Pierce.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays with us here on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts, Dr. Jeff Pierce. He is here to help keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. We'll be right back.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, you know, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? I know I am. It's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Shop.woodwardsports.com is where you need to go to get your new hoodies, tees, hats. It's all guaranteed to make people stop and ask you where you got it. You just got to tell them shop.woodwardsports.com. Go there now. Get your new Detroit sports gear right.
Hey, welcome back. I want to say, as we start a segment on college basketball, congratulations to Tom Izzo. He is now the all-time leader in victories as a Big Ten coach, passing Bobby Knight for the most all-time after Michigan State wins on the road 79-65. Tom Izzo now number one when it comes to Big Ten coaching victories. And it's just awesome. I think I speak for the entirety of us here on our show specifically, but at the network, there is nobody better than Tom Izzo. Congratulations, Coach. It is well deserved.
Braylon, look.
We love you.
I
here.
love Tom Izzo.
Tom Izzo has joined
Tom,
us
my guy.
on this program a lot. We've got tremendous respect for Tom Izzo, and it couldn't happen to a better person. So congratulations to Tom Izzo. Simply the best.
I was looking at that list. I just wish there were more national championships attached to these Big Ten coaches. I mean, you look at Bobby Knight. Obviously, he has 2. Tom has 1. But all the other coaches on that list, I don't think Gene Katie has 1, and a bunch of coaches underneath. It sucks that the Big Ten just doesn't have more. But shout out to Tom Izzo, man. He gets it done. We've talked much about my love for him, so respect.
When you talk about coaches just purely, in our state, regardless of sports, we've had some great ones. Chuck Daly comes to mind. Scotty Bowman comes to mind. Jim Leland comes to mind. I think Tom Izzo should be on that list of, if I said top 5 coaches in the history of the state of Michigan, I think Tom Izzo is on that list. I really do, for the consistency, in no particular order. I mean, I think you're talking Scotty Bowman, Chuck Daly, Jim Leland. I mean, is Bo Schembechler on that list?
If you look at the totality of what he did in Michigan,
Yost.
since we just put,
know.
for sure.
I was going to say
But,
one out
nah,
there.
but
I mean,
would
I'm
you put
talking about the
Harbaugh?
last
Would you put Harbaugh on there?
50 years.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Would you put Harbaugh on that list?
I think I'd put Izzo ahead of Harbaugh.
Oh,
Just because Harbaugh's run lasted 3 years. I mean, you talk about the totality of success at Michigan State. I know there's only one national championship. I know that. I'm just trying to think when you think of coaches here.
Right.
I said Larry Brown.
Larry Brown.
I didn't get any traction.
Yeah, Larry
on that
Brown
one.
was.
I didn't hear you say
Oh,
it.
Larry
Yeah, he said-
Brown.
Larry Brown.
Lloyd.
Man,
Lloyd Carr.
Where do you? I know this is a far. Where do you put Jock Demirs on that?
I don't.
I didn't think so. But I didn't think so. But hey, I just wanted to throw that out there.
I mean, Sparky Anderson is on here.
Yeah.
Who's the Michigan State football coach? I can't think of his name before.
Mark
D'Antonio.
Mike
D'Antonio.
D'Antoni.
What about D'Antonio?
No, if Harbaugh's not on there,
Mike
D'Antoni's
D'Antoni's not on that. No, I'm kidding. No disrespect to Mark D'Antonio. No, Mark D'Antonio is not on that list. God.
I got. Well, Nancy Lieberman.
Would you? Come on.
about
Yeah,
sports.
I mean,
WNBA.
okay. Is there a possibility of 5 or 6
Yeah,
guys?
I mean, look, Tom Izzo. When you think sports in the state of Michigan, Tom Izzo is one of the first names that comes up, and that goes back a long way. So I agree with you 100%. You can't not think of sports and not think of Tom Izzo at some point in the first 3 or 5 people you mentioned. So.
Yeah, so is Dusty May on
Dusty
that
May.
list?
There we go.
Dusty
May.
May.
Let's go, Dusty May.
He plays against him on
it's-
Friday.
Damn.
Let me tell you, in college basketball, in college sports, coach would get fired. You'd hire a guy. Oh, just wait till this guy gets his own players in there. It'd be 3-4 years, sometimes 5 years.
Yeah.
Now, 6 months.
Right.
Would you put Beeline over Harbaugh?
Oh, John Beeline, yeah.
Beeline had 2 appearances.
No, but he didn't win it. I think if you win it,
Okay.
that's why I put Lloyd over Bo.
Yeah.
For me.
Lloyd's my
know?
coach, so yeah, I'm putting my dad had Bo.
So yeah, let's talk a little Michigan basketball. You could have 2 Final Four teams in our state, depending upon which brackets they get into. This game at the end of the week is going to be huge. Could potentially be for the Big Ten regular season championship. Michigan and Michigan State. I'm really excited to watch this game, Braylon.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, they're ranked 12 backwards, 21. They got 21 wins, and they play on the 21st. I say all that to say I'm excited about the Wolverines, but they're just getting it done. They're finding ways to win. They're holding on to leads at the end of the game. They're getting up early. They're playing a great team version of basketball. I talked about it last week. You look at the players in the stat column. Guys have rebounds as well as points as well as steals. Guys are filling up the columns for University of Michigan. They're doing team way, but that Wolf, man, I go back to Wolf. Wolf is a fun player to watch, and they got 2 7-footers, and they run a mean pick and roll at the top of the key. When you got a guy 7 foot that can handle the ball, and another guy 7'1" that has soft hands, they're having great amount of success running that pick and roll, and it starts at the top of the key.
It's just so exciting, and anytime you win, like Michigan did yesterday in Columbus, it's just a great thing. And in this basketball team, they left the door open to their locker room so that Ohio State could hear their celebration.
Oh, savage.
Yesterday.
Let's go.
Did you see the one lone Wolverines fan that was surrounded by all the Ohio State fans?
Yes.
Shout out to that dude.
20-5, first place in the Big Ten for a team that last year, I'm just going to pull up their record right now. I think they were last in the Big Ten last year. I'll pull it up just so I can get the full record. Michigan last year, dead last in the Big Ten, 3-17 in the conference. They were 8-24 overall. This is the greatest turnaround in the history of Michigan basketball for sure. Maybe one of the greatest turnarounds in Michigan, the state of Michigan, in a 1-year turnaround from literally worst to first, probably ever. And I'm not understating that. I mean, you went from 3 wins to now 20.
21.
That's crazy. Michigan coaches putting on like that. Red Wings, Pistons, now University of Michigan basketball.
Michigan State too. If you want to go that
Michigan
route.
State.
Yeah. No, this is a good state. It's a good time to be a sports fan from the state of Michigan, Michigander, Michiganian, however you want to say it. I'm a Michigander. That's what I choose to use. But it's a great time. It's a great time to be alive. But I just want this energy to continue. Like I want to see. I feel like in college basketball, man, like it's like you only know a couple teams. Like I wanted to get back to a competitive level of the rounds of the tournament. Like I want those rounds to be competitive from the first round to the second round. I want it to get good again. College basketball, like Maz loves it. That's his thing. March Madness and blah blah blah. It used to be something to watch. It used to be something to look forward to. I don't mind the rest of the season. We never have to get back to that where I'm watching, Duke and North Carolina or Duke and Michigan, let's say, in the Big Ten ACC Challenge in December. I don't have to get back to that. But we need to get back to a dope tournament run, starting with the conference tournament. So I hope we can continue this energy, man. Shout out to Michigan. They play on my birthday, though.
You've got 2 7-footers, Bray, that are going to be really hard to compete with in March. Really hard for any team to compete with these 2 guys. If one of the guards could really just
guard play,
control the pace of play, is that guard Burnett? Is it him? Is it Roddy Gale? Is it Trey Donaldson? Could one of these guys step up their game, take it to a whole new level during, 2 games a weekend? You're going to be in store for really a fun fun March.
I'm excited. Look, man, like, anything can happen. That's what the tournament is for. You get excited. It's the dance. It's the tourney, if you will. So a lot can happen. Guard play has not been Michigan's strong suit this season, and this goes back to the quick turnaround. Sometimes everything can happen at once, and I think that's the area that's not taking a hit, but that's the area that hasn't come up as fast as everything else. But all you need is a shot, man. All you need is your name call, and all you need to be is in a favorable region. We've seen lesser teams make it further.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I want to get back to an NFL story that turns out it was a hoax. We'll do that next, but first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. It's Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get a 2024 Envision for only $239 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation, only $249 per month. Don't forget the 2025 Hummer EV SUV, $789 per month. Zero security deposit, zero due at signing, zero first month payment, zero acquisition fee. That's right. Get to Les Stanford today. Check out their massive inventory at the Sign and Drive sale. Les Stanford Buick GMC. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at LesStanford.com today.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Signature wings, limited time only at Siroki's, where the real fans do favorites. Siroki's crispy chicken and pizza, they've been doing it for a while now, man, and they're growing all over the metropolitan area because food's legit, man. They have fresh salads and sides, by the way. Honey biscuits as well, but back to the signature wings. Only here for a limited time. So you want to jump on these things before it is too late. And I say it every week, it's going to be too late. Well, one day it is, man. Get on these flavors before it's too late. Lemon pepper is the flavor, but also don't forget about the honey biscuits. Did you see Cade's shoes at the All-Star game?
I did not.
Hey, Cade got a lot of love. His cut threes, whoo. They were fire. I'll get a picture before the show's over, but they look a starry night. And like even his description of what was the inspiration for his shoe, I was like, Cade's a very thought-provoking young individual. That makes sense because I liked what he said about it. But the shoes are fire. Like to say you had the best shoe at an All-Star game that features all of the individuals with the best shoes. Oh, there you go. Shout out to my guy,
I got
Pete.
you, dude.
Those, ladies and gentlemen, were the number one shoe, in my opinion, at NBA All-Star
That's cold.
2025. Like, those are legit. Like, it's not, and Ricky, it's not so often that you see shoes that are different that just catch you off guard. Like, those had me like, oh, okay. Thought
No,
they were-
100%.
Yeah. So.
It's a good shoe.
I told
Good
you,
shoe.
I'm out of the game, man. I try not to put my mind into it.
Don't tempt the poor
great.
guy.
Guys, I wanted to touch on this story because it had Matt Ariza vibes. It had Duke Lacrosse vibes. And it's the story of Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin. Bullygate, you'll remember back in the day. Jonathan Martin claimed that he quit football because Richie Incognito bullied him. Over the weekend, Jonathan Martin from the Miami Dolphins, Jonathan Martin admitted essentially it was a hoax.
What?
And he was not bullied by Richie Incognito. He was a second-round draft pick. He was a bust. Football was too hard, and he quit. That is basically what happened to Jonathan Martin. But it was easier to tell people that he quit. He was dealing with depression. He was hospitalized a couple of times because of depression. It was easier to tell people that he quit because he was bullied. And in doing so, Richie Incognito was suspended for the second half of 2013. He was blackballed in all of 2014. He lost out on $10+ million. He did ultimately, because an independent investigation, a 144-page independent investigation, came back and revealed essentially that he was not bullied. So he did get back into the game, kind of like Matt Ariza after some time got back into the game. And it was all a hoax. And for his efforts, Richie Incognito gets an apology. And it's just man. So if you know anything about Richie Incognito, not a great guy. First and foremost, not a good guy. But, and I say but, that shouldn't mean that somebody can make up a total lie and have you blackballed or lose out on $10 million. There's enough stuff that you could probably find on Richie Incognito if you want to look. But I don't believe in hoaxes. I don't believe in lies. I don't believe that you should be able to unscathed lie about somebody and have that be what it is. And shame on all media. Shame on NFL media, first and foremost, because you grab these stories, whether it's Ariza, whether it's Duke Lacrosse, you have, let's just call it what it is. It's like, this white guy coming down on this young black player, and that's a juicy story. Just like the Duke Lacrosse was these rich white kids going up against young black this helpless dancer. It's like you grab these stories and they just go with it without any investigation whatsoever, without any source of integrity, without anything. And I just think it's wrong. And what happens? You get an apology? That's what you get 10 years later?
Yeah, well, no, welcome to our world. The problem with Richie Incognito, the only thing I have, he made himself such a character that nobody cared to look further in deep because he had already used the N-word. He had a bunch of other things that happened about him. So he got pegged and he got chose based off his priors and whatever it was. Now, two things can be true because he definitely didn't bully Martin. Martin came out and said there was no bullying 10 years later, which is 10 years too late. But he put himself in the crosshairs for people to believe that based on his behavior at that time. When you're running around slurs in the middle of preseason games and things like that, people take heed to that. So then when something comes out and you have, like they say, a track record. This is the same thing with Kirby Joseph. Way different. But they start saying he was a dirty player because of the hit against Hawkinson, because of the hit against the tight end from the Los Angeles Rams. Yeah, those things aren't true. But it was a narrative that was out there based on some things that could be tied. So it sucks that he had to go through 10 years of that. But sometimes when you put yourself in these positions, it comes.
And
with
you
the
know what?
territory.
You're right about that. Both things can be true. You could be a horrible person and
still get played.
And absolutely.
Yeah, you got
I mean, I
played.
think of like Manti Te'o and some of the biggest like hoaxes though. Like you know what I mean? Like that's the point.
That's
to me.
the one.
But Manti Te'o or now Bullygate, Duke Lacrosse. You have these things that ultimately come out. And some of the biggest stories of our time, really, in a sports sense, and in the Duke Lacrosse in a news sense, but when they come out and they're hoaxes essentially, it does make you look internally that you didn't ask. People like me in my business, in our business, you do have a certain sense of responsibility to find stuff out on your own, to maybe like dig a little bit
deeper
for the truth, instead of going with just what everybody says. And now mind you, this is all three of those things, Manti Te'o, Duke Lacrosse, and Bullygate, all happened prior to social media. And I know it was around, Twitter was around, I think 2012 it came.
Yeah, but it wasn't news
what
Twitter.
it is.
Yeah.
It was not what it is.
I was just about to say that because I worked for, when I first got on radio, we were at CBS Radio, which is Intercom now, and the WWJ was in there. So I talked to one of the news guys. He said, news is bad when people rush to be first instead of finding the facts. And I feel like that's what happens with a lot of these cases. People are so quick to go first, then when they release it, they don't want to backtrack, so they just go deeper with the story.
Well, Ricky, you've nailed it. You come up with your conclusion.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay, Richie Incognito, let's use this one because we're talking about Richie Incognito, bad guy.
Yep.
Right.
So then your investigation now squarely focuses on Richie Incognito
100%.
and not on Jonathan Martin or what happened.
So they never interview like their families.
Right. Well, your investigation goes to, I believe Richie Incognito, or I know Richie Incognito to be this. So you're going to find everything that you can to back up your conclusion.
I agree.
Instead of, it's kind of like going to
Further
court of law.
smearing someone's
Kind of
name.
like going to court of law. You're guilty until proven innocent.
That's why they take you
much.
to jail. They put you in jail. If
Right.
you're innocent, they will put you in jail.
So, I mean, do you feel sorry for Richie Incognito? Probably not, because he does seem like just a horrible person. But I just hate the idea when somebody can lie about somebody and not have and to have a media pile on. That's all I'm trying to say.
It also sucks too. Like you can't have like your pound of flesh. Like at the end of the day, like you just completely lied on my name.
Right.
You got me essentially banned. You essentially directly responsible for me missing out on $10 million, and now you come out and woe is me, and you feel good 10 years later. Well, what about my cash? Yeah,
what about my family?
I was about to say, there's
what
a
about my
lawsuit
bread?
coming.
Like at the end of the day, like there's no recourse. There's no recourse for Martin for this. Oh, I lied.
Sorry.
There's going to be a lawsuit.
An Otter on here in the chat says, Ryan defending Matt Ariza, LMAO. Talk about not doing your homework. What? He did not rape that girl.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He did not. Did he have sex with her? Yeah.
Consensual.
Probably.
Did he rape that girl? No. Absolutely not.
Facts are
So
facts.
much so that the prosecutor's office caught that girl in a lie and there's audio of it.
He's still overseas. Did he come back?
No, he played for the Bills.
That's right.
Came back and played for the Bills. So
Bauer.
yeah, I mean, you should actually, Otter, go watch the Bryant Gumbel Real Sports segment on Matt Ariza. I think Andrea Kramer did that story. It is an incredible story. Incredible story. So, Otter, I implore you to go do your homework before commenting on Matt Ariza and that story next. Did
you see, over the course of the weekend, I know you were dialed into NHL, Team USA, but did you see the video and the clips, or maybe you guys saw it, came out about the Eagles and their videos?
Oh, it's
the night
so
before.
good. That game was won on Saturday night.
Yeah, it was won already.
I missed it. What is this?
I couldn't play the videos because of the
there's
music.
a bunch of you can set it up.
There is videos now trickling out on social media from the team meeting the night before the Super Bowl, and all of the different speeches that players gave.
Got you.
In front, they stand up and give them. One was Lane Johnson, one was A.J. Brown, one was Saquon Barkley, one was
Gardner
Jalen
Johnson.
Hurts. And it is fascinating. That game, the Super Bowl, was won on Saturday
It was
night.
like that.
Like, and
You knew that I wish those. If anybody ever bet, you want those things to come out before the game because you would have put the house on the Eagles if you watched this.
You'd have bet your mortgage. At the end of the day, Saquon Barkley, when he spoke,
excuse me, played for Kansas City. Sorry, Rise that plays for Kansas City.
Saquon, very soft-spoken. You know how he talks. He basically said, after watching film all week on these guys, they can't F with us.
Nice.
Except for he didn't just say F.
Yeah.
And the way in which he said it, Ricky, it was just, if I was a player on that team, it was just so, it would have been reassuring.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you a lot of times you look at some stuff and you're like, I've been in that space where you're watching film and you're like, this Patriots team ain't that good. Like, I mean, DBs can't even. So, but it takes until somebody else says it out loud to now all of a sudden everybody's dialed in. Like, yeah, when he said that, if I was, I'm like, okay.
Was it like the Game of Inches speech from Any Given
It was
Sunday?
soft. It was softer than that. Like, it wasn't as It wasn't like Al Pacino and like, you know, bringing you in and really leaving you on a cliff. It was more so just very subtle.
Yeah.
Like, look,
matter of fact,
been together all year. You know, we come through. Like, I'm glad I got a chance to get here. He said, but we've been watching film. And I know you guys seen the same thing as me all week. Right. This team can't F with us. And I think after he left it at that, like that's when that flip switched. Because that team that played on Sunday, they played exactly in that same breath as Saquon Barkley in that moment. They played like a team that knew that the opposition couldn't F with them. Yeah. Like at no point were they like pressing or did they look like they were in trouble. They knew they were beyond better.
Yeah, no doubt. Tigers full squad reports to camp today. First full squad workout. Braylon. Pretty excited for that. I know. We're really excited for that. By the way, Alex Bregman,
Red Sox,
with the Red Sox. So Rafael Devers, he's their third baseman. Right. Speaking to the media today, they asked him if he would be okay with DHing once in a while, so Bregman could play third base. His answer. No.
Right.
That's going to be a total,
good answer.
That's going to be a total crap show.
Yeah, you got to earn this spot.
That is going to be a total crap show. I cannot wait for that.
I agree.
Sometimes you think you know a thing and you don't. Like, sometimes you think you do. Look, Bregman already had the World Series wins. You already got the rings. He could have came to Detroit. Could have been in a situation to build something in a city that is coming back in the major league. I don't care about the weather or the ballpark and it not being a home run friendly ballpark for Mr. Alex Bregman. Man, this city is coming back. Whether it's the Tigers, the Red Wings, the Lions, like the Pistons, it's the city. Like I would have looked at something like that to be a part of that and then build with the team. And it's about the future. You know, now maybe Alex Bregman becomes a part of the franchise. You know, maybe he comes in the front office when it's all said and done. I would have been looking at things like that. He ain't working in the front office in Boston. I tell you that.
No doubt. Bray, what do you got going on this week?
Chilling, relaxing, man. I feel like get back in the gym. I took today off, which is the first weekday that I've taken off in like a month. Took today off. I'm going to just relax, dial into the family, keep it fresh, see what's going on in these sports. But just take some me time. I feel like I've been giving a lot of my energy and my time. I need to pull some of that back.
Pull it back.
And not in a bad way. You know?
Hey, just a couple of news and notes I want to do quickly. 7 more women have come out.
Yes.
Against Ravens kicker Justin Tucker. 7 more women. That brings this total to 16 women, 8 in the Baltimore area, accusing the Ravens kicker of inappropriate sexual behavior during massages. This guy is done.
Toast.
So, you know, I'm where there's smoke, there's fire. My only question is, what is going on with the athlete and the massage space?
I mean,
because like that's kind of where it's getting at. Like, there's been more allegations than just the Deshaun Watson situation. Now, this like what's going on? Like, I got massages when I played. Like, it was. Where's this level of sexual harassment? Like, what are these guys doing?
I always try to reserve judgment until the full story comes out.
And that's why I'm where I'm at.
And that's what we'll do here. But it appears that 16 different women have the same story.
He had a playbook.
Yeah. So that's tough.
Whistle pig.
Saquon Barkley gifted his entire offensive line a truckload of Bud Light. Now, on the list of gifts, I think this is...
Oh, that's a 30-footer.
I think this is the dumbest one. Okay, I think this is the dumbest gift a running back can give his O-line, because you want your O-line to get all fat during the offseason so you can't run it back?
That's funny. I think Saquon has to deal with Bud Light.
I guess so. Now he does. That's another thing. I hate. Look, I hate the sponsored gifts.
Because it's not a real gift.
It's not a real gift.
Yeah.
Like
the
Brock Purdy. I knew you would say that.
It's the Brock Purdy gift. It's not cool. It's not cool, man.
I put it to you this way: it's not cool unless it's cool.
Right.
Like if you give me a car, like it's like. But then even then you got to pay the other stuff.
To be the recipient, fine. To be the giver, not cool.
Yeah, agreed.
Right?
Yeah, because it lacks that real effort.
Yep.
If you sit and then you got to turn around, you give me a gift like a car that I have to turn around and pay insurance and all the other stuff on. Yeah.
Finally, Emmitt Smith is not a fan of Brian Schottenheimer.
No.
You're not either.
Oh no, we got audio.
No, there's no audio there.
No, I'm not. What did Emmett say?
He's not a fan.
It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense that you have the franchise that's the franchise in America as it relates to sports, and in the midst of being close for so many years, like this is the move that you make when Jerry, let's call it spade a spade, you are really starting to get close to being removed from the game. We'll just call it that. Brian Schottenheimer is the move you made. Hasn't really been a successful offensive coordinator in terms of having an offense that looked good, that led the part, that was top 5 finish in the NFL, not really ever being one of those guys. And then you got a guy in Mike McCartney that won a Super Bowl that you chose not to pay. That's fine. If he run his course, it's run his course. Brian Schottenheimer, never been mentioned before, and now he's the guy that you just fill the role with. If I'm an alum like Emmett, I'm pissed too.
That's right.
Those guys have pride. When you win at a place, like anybody that's running Ware Ring in Detroit has a say in the field about what Steve Eisman is doing or whoever the GM is. Like you care. You're a part of that forever.
And Emmitt Smith is the Cowboys.
He's the Cowboy.
Yeah.
Have a great birthday week.
Appreciate you. Enjoy your trip.
Thank you. I've got a trip coming up, so I'll see you guys Monday. You're in Thursday. Maz is back Friday. You guys are in all week.
All week.
The Pete
Bray,
Ricky
get us out
Show.
of here, buddy.
Hold it down.
Pete
Look,
Ricky
we are
Show.
inconsistent, but we do love you, man. This is Amon-Ra Networks with Maz. We appreciate you guys for tuning in on this Monday. We will be back next week as a full crew, but tune in all week. My man Ricky will be in. P. Spivet will be running the desk. Like you said, Tom Masway comes back Friday, and then I'm back in on Thursday. So not completely gone from you. So enjoy your week. Try to stay warm and have fun. I'll see you Thursday.